what kind of advice would you give to a dude when he catch his girl, you know, cheating on him? I mean, a lot of times, dudes, they will take out the angle on the guys that the chick is cheating with, and I think that's wrong, man. I think you should charge it to the game and move on to the next. Now, what kind of advice would you give to that dude that's making that sucker move, coming, you know what I mean, trying to violate the dude that's smashing his chick?
Yeah. So
Talk.
you got to forget about the guy that's banging your chick, whatever. Like there's two different things that you got to understand here. Like when a guy steps out on the relationship, he's cheating. You know, he's basically exercising options, right? Like he can go out, he can go bang a chick, come home, kiss his wife, love his kids, pay all the bills, you know, take care of everything, do the extracurriculars, go to family events. Like guys don't generally form emotional connections to women that they're cheating on. Women, on the other hand, they don't cheat; they betray. Okay, betrayal is different from cheating. Men cheat, women will betray because they're betraying the love that they committed to their guy, and they're allocating that to another guy. Right? Women can't go around banging, you know, six guys in a couple of days. I mean, some do because you know they're made for the street, sort of thing, as they like to say. But at the end of the day, it's very, very difficult for women to have unconnected sex with men. So when they step out on a relationship, it's a betrayal, which is a totally different thing. And if a woman betrays your trust, why would you keep her around? Like, what kind of a loser are you that you would actually, you know, stoop to the level where you're like, well, let me just keep her because, you know, she touched my pee-pee one time and we have sex like once a month, right? Most guys are like that. They're just like, okay, I'm sorry, baby. It's all my fault. I didn't give you enough attention. It's like, these guys are geeks. They don't want to see the reality of the world. They just want to see the rainbows and the butterflies and consume the lies. And they're the ones that take ownership usually for her stepping out of the relationship, and they'll go and blame themselves. Maybe I didn't take her out enough. Maybe I didn't tell her that I loved her enough, whatever, you know, it happens to be. The truth of the matter is there's probably stuff that you did that didn't keep her in the relationship. And a lot of that might have to be with you maybe getting lazy, you getting fat, sitting around, you can't hold down a job, you know, you're not competent, you can't make money. You know, if any of these things exist, and you also, outside of that, may select a chick that's a hoe, right? Like I said earlier, I mean, if you want to invite a woman in your life that's been with 100 guys and think that she's going to be exclusive to you, well, you're a muppet, like you're an idiot, you know, if you actually believe that. So see the world for what it actually is. You know, there's probably a part of the equation where maybe you stop chasing excellence, you know, in your own life, because women want to be with the giant. They want to wake up every morning. They want to look at a guy and be like, this is the best that I can do. This guy's a shit. I can't wait to come home and see him tonight. Be naked when I get home. She's texting him, you know, throughout the day. Like she's got genuine burning desire for him. Right. So, you know, there's a component that guys have to take ownership for, but at the same time, I mean, if she steps out, she steps out. Like you take her back. I'm sorry, man, but you're a cuck. Like you're a loser.
I totally agree on that. And by you making that statement, females betray, I think it's dope because when they do step out, it's definitely calculated and precise. Like,
Very calculated. Yeah,
yeah, I mean,
absolutely.
so I totally agree with you on that. Definitely. My next question is for you is that do you think that women that have achieved like a great compensation that moves them to a high level socioeconomic status, um, does that hinder them from accomplishing bagging a good mate? You
Yeah,
know?
it's harder for them because, you know, these like boss girls, right? So there's this new phenomenon, you know, today where you got these boss girls, these bad bitches, you know, whatever they call themselves, but it's like these women that are like trying to be like professional men. And they think in their heads as they're doing this, they're going through the degrees, they're taking school, they're climbing a corporate ladder, they're working extra hours overnight, you know, putting in the weekends and stuff like that. Like they think to themselves, okay, now I'm going to be attractive to a high value guy, right? They're mid 30s, you know, by this point. The problem is most guys that they're trying to get with, most of the guys that they feel attraction to, they might want to start a family with or, you know, settle down with sort of thing. They're not looking for some boss girl that they're going to come home and have disagreeable nights with, right? Like you're a guy, you're chasing excellence all day, you're doing something with your life, you're putting a dent in the universe, and you come home and you got some bitch telling you that the curtains are wrong and you got to go and return them, and you know you have to do this, that, and the other thing, and she's trying to run your life as soon as you walk in the door. High value men don't want that. They don't want to come home to some disagreeable woman. They want to come home to a house that has been made into a home, by their woman, and their kids are looked after. There's a healthy meal on the table. The house is clean. You know, that's what they want to come home to. They don't want to come home to some boss girl that's also out there chasing excellence too. Now, those are for the unplugged alphas, right? There's not a lot of guys like that, but there's a lot of guys out there that are, professionals, doctor, lawyer, surgeon, accountant, and they also, made up with a woman that's also a professional doctor, lawyer, surgeon, accountant, or something like that, because she wants to find her equal. But the amount of guys that are at that level that are her equal is very, very slim. There's a calculator online. I think it's called the female delusion calculator or something like that. You've probably seen it, right? So, I mean, if you go in and you type, I'm looking for a guy that's 35, not overweight, and makes over $200,000 a year. It's something like less than, like 1% of the male population. But women have
Right.
it in their heads that there's all these guys out there that are like hiding from them, that are over 6 foot tall, that make loads of money, that don't have any baggage, that are interesting and competent and captivating and have good families and have a house and 2 cars and a boat and all this kind of shit. They think
Right.
there's loads of these guys out there, but they don't understand that the number of guys that meet that very high criteria is so low that they're all competing for the same guy, which
The
is why,
height alone.
yeah,
It's
which is
like,
which is why these women basically end up, with like these chads out there that are banging all of these women, simultaneously. So
right.
these guys are spoiled for choice, and they're trying to lock down the one guy. But he's like, why? When I've got like all these options,
It's
like
a
what's in it
plethora
for
of
me?
women that's eagerly to engage with them.
See,
You know what I mean?
the big mistake that women make is all of those things that I described about those qualities that they go and pursue in their lives are basically describing the guy that they want to be with. And they think that if they turn themselves into the guy that they want to be with, that the guy that they want to be with is going to see them as an equal and want to be with them, right? But women are beauty objects, men are success objects. So you start telling women, stories like that, like men select women on a long-term basis based on beauty, purity, things like that. That's what we look for. We're not looking for your fucking degree. I don't care. You don't share your pot of gold with
But
me.
yo, hold on, yo, Mr. Cooper, I gotta say this. Now you got a lot of suckers out there that seek women that make that kind of that meet that tax bracket. And yo, what are your thoughts on that? Because there's a lot of dudes out there that's promoting that and that they should engage with a female that makes that kind of money. Like I call them suckers, but I want your perspective on it.
Yeah, so
So
like you're talking about guys dating up, like dating women that make more money than them.
yeah, yeah,
So look, I mean, if you're going to get married, I mean, this sounds controversial when I say it, but if you're going to get married, the safest way to do it so you don't get fucked if there's going to be a divorce is to marry a woman that makes more money than you. Because it's the person that makes more money that usually ends up paying the other person in that divorce. So you
yeah.
want to be strategic about it as a guy. You make $100,000 a year, you can find a chick that makes $200,000 a year. If it doesn't work out, you're probably pretty well protected because family law, will protect you. The problem with it, though, is that women don't like to marry down, right?
They don't,
They
yeah,
want to marry across the socioeconomic scale. They're
or
equal. The
above.
problem is if you ask a woman, what their equal looks like, and then you say, okay, well, how much money does he need to make? And she'll be something like, oh, he needs to make at least $100,000 a year. And then you ask her, how much money do you make? She'll say, oh well, I make $75,000 a year. It's like, okay, well, how are you an equal then? Right. So in their mind, when they say equal, they're thinking higher than them. So women don't generally tend to marry down on the socioeconomic scale. They tend to marry up. So that's where the problem lies. I mean, you got all these boss women out there that are running their businesses. They've climbed the corporate ladder. They've put off having kids. They've smashed their way through a whole bunch of guys, in their party years and the
Right,
vacations,
right.
all that sort of thing. They got a huge notch count. They've got 3 cats in their house and a fluffy white dog and all this bullshit. And they think that that is a big catch for them, for like guys to want them. But they don't understand the reality of the world. It's like, look, you've basically designed your life to essentially be a man. And no guy wants to be with another dude. They don't want to be with another, like a woman that behaves like a guy. That's all like that. They want somebody that's beautiful. They want somebody that's agreeable. They want somebody that's a compliment to their life, that's going to add, to their life, not take away. It's been said for years now, and I know this is a funny statement, but it's a very simple equation for women. Keep his dick
They have
hard,
a hard
keep
time
his life easy.
understanding that. They we have a hard time getting it back because it's like, yo, like every female thinks that, yo, like that's successful and that's in that high tax bracket lane. Like
Yeah.
they think that like them having this kind of accomplishment turns on the dude where it does the complete opposite. So my thoughts on that is like, yo, a female that's that successful on that level, she has to adopt a masculine trait in order to accomplish those certain goals, man.
Yeah.
And I man, you giving a breakdown like, yo, you on point like a scoreboard. Like you definitely letting us know.
That's what I do, man. That's what I do. There's no bullshit.
Straight shooter. I like that. We need that. You know what I mean? Because dudes, you know what I mean? Like they scared to keep it real because it's all for the sake of having that opportunity to slide up in them drawers, man. You know what I mean? But
Yep.
you not with it. You straight shooter. You let it know what it is. You know what I mean? And I a guy like me appreciate truth and wisdom like that because it definitely you should implement in that into your lifestyle and not to fall into the snares of this game, man. Because like each move you make when you're dealing with these females, man, it's if you're not on point, you know what I mean, you're gonna be taking the L all across the board. You know what I mean?
It's very risky to get involved with a woman today on an intimate basis when you form a relationship, especially in North America, especially in any Western country where laws are hostile towards men and especially fathers. So you have to be very, very careful. You have to be very selective. Um, like the main dating strategy that guys should be using should be really dating multiple women simultaneously in a non-monogamous fashion. And if your goal is just to have fun, then that's really all that you ever need to do. Now, if your goal changes and you're thinking to yourself, all right, I'm tired of the nightmares, I'm tired of all this bullshit, I'm tired of this taking up all my time, and they start going down the route of maybe I'd like a girlfriend, or maybe they want to go further than that and say, maybe I want to have a family sort of thing and start having some kids. That's when you can take a look at your dating pool and then say to yourself, look, I've been dating these women for so long. Some of them have been asking me questions like, where do we stand? Are you seeing anybody else? Are we going to be exclusive sort of thing? That's when you can start entertaining those conversations. And even then, if you do entertain them, you don't have to be monogamous. You can set up your life in such a way that if you want, be monogamous with her, right? If you so choose, or if you don't want that and you want to have options, and set up your life and say, all right, I choose you, but just understand I'm going to step outside from time to time, but don't worry. It's not going to take away anything from you. I'm not going to hurt you. I'm not going to embarrass you. I'm not going to bring home a disease. There's all kinds of ways that you can structure your life, but guys don't realize that there's more than one way to skin a cat, right? There's a whole bunch of different ways you can live your life as a guy, depending on how you want to structure it and what your goals are. I really hope you guys enjoyed that clip. If you want to watch the full length podcast, you can find that over here, that clip's from. If you're newer to the channel, make sure you hit subscribe over here and pin down below in the top comment. You'll find a bunch of useful links to my website, my supplement line, books, and a bunch of other stuff. Have an amazing day. Peace out.